Hi, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today we are going to do a hashtag. This is hashtag trick or treat decks by Afton with a Z. Afton tagged me in this. I do appreciate it. And I have made lists of many tags that I've wanted to do, but I've been so busy doing walkthroughs and deck collections that I haven't done a tag. And I looked back, it's been 3 months, guys. So it was high time that I picked one and did it. And I thought that this was perfect for this time because it can go up on Halloween. So I am going to put this up on Halloween day. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. I know I'm very late with this. So I know you've probably already watched a bunch of them. I've seen them dropping and they've been so much fun. But I did want to throw my hat in the ring. So here we go. I'm just going to get started. The first prompt is the trick, a deck that always seems a bit mischievous. This is the Black Cats Tarot from Los Scarabeo by Maria Carrara. These cats in this deck all remind me, they make me think of cat burglars, but not just like, the OG cat burglar costume from like back in the day in the old TV shows and movies and stuff. That's what that's what every cat in this deck reminds me of. And this one peeling off the costume, it does not help it at all. It reminds me of like Catwoman from the old Batman TV series. She was always up to no good. And these cats remind me of her, and they remind me of cat burglars, and they just remind me of mischievous beings. So, because of that, whenever I read with this deck, I feel like it gives a mischievous energy just from the imagery. There's a couple in here that just really give cat burglar energy to me. Look at this one. Look at him laying there. Just, I'm pretty sure he's not supposed to be laying on this statue. I'm pretty sure that's like a statue, like a holy statue or something in this world. So, what has he got there? This is the four of coins, and he is saving all his money here, stacking it all up. So yeah, this one definitely gives me mischievous energy just because the cats in the deck feel like they're up to something. Every one of them feel like they're up to something. And I think it's just the way they're drawn and the way that they made them look kind of like people with cat costumes on that makes me think of that. But yeah, if I was looking for a deck where the characters in it feel mischievous, is definitely this one. And this is the Black Cat Tarot. These are the backs. I wonder what he got into where he broke his leg. Yeah, these little guys here, they're fun. I like them. Next prompt is the treat, the deck you gorge on once a year. This is the Hocus Pocus Tarot by Minerva Siegel and Tony Schaefer, artwork by Drea D. I definitely gorge on this one once a year. Here are the backs. I definitely gorge on this one once a year. I love this deck so much, and I have to force myself to put it away every year. Every year I force myself because I just want to read with it all the time. And I love I love everything about it, guys. I love the imagery. I love Hocus Pocus anyway. So, of course, I love the fact that it's Hocus Pocus IP. The borders, the way the cards feel in my hands make just feel nice to touch them, to shuffle them. They're chatty when I read with them. They're energetic. They make me think of fun Halloween things. I have many Halloween decks. I have to force myself not to use this one every single day for every single reading in this time of year. So I definitely gorge on it. It was the perfect deck for this prompt. And then after Halloween, I put it away, and I don't use it anymore. I force myself to put it away, and I don't use it anymore. But look how vibrant and beautiful and just fun, and it's like all the Halloween things. You've got pumpkins, you've got potions, you've got candles, and then you've got the Hocus Pocus characters, the movie IP. It's what I feel this deck is very well done. I just love it. I just love it. Look at that. Skeletons and all kinds of things. Zombies, everything you need. Everything you need. Even with the smoky, like poisonous looking border. Yeah, this is definitely a gorge once a year and then put it away after the season kind of deck. But I use it constantly, and I have to force myself actually to not gorge on it, to not overdo it. But this is the Hocus Pocus Tarot from Inside Editions. Next up, we have the Bat, a deck that flies over my head. And it's definitely this one. This is the Raven Dream Tarot. It had to be a bird deck. It had to be a bird deck because it flies. It flies over my head. So I went with this one because I don't use this deck very often. I have quite a few decks from this creator, and this is probably my least used of them. And because I don't use it often, half the time when I pull the cards, I'm like, what in the world is going on? And this is not the fault of the deck. This is my fault because I don't use it. And I haven't really gone through the book and, looked at all the cards and done my due diligence to make sure that I know what I'm doing when I pull out the cards. It's supposed to be RWS. And I guess technically it is following the RWS system, but half the times when I look at these cards, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. So this one is, I can see Six of Pentacles. I can see that this bird is giving the fish, I can see Six of Pentacles here. The Magician, I have no clue what's happening here. I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing I see the sword, the cup, the pentacle. I don't see a wand, but maybe, oh, is it what he's holding? It's also very dark as well because it's a dream. I just need to do my due diligence and go through the guidebook and look at the pictures a little harder. I don't use it. So this is definitely the bird. It's a bird deck, so it's flying right over my head, mostly because I don't work with it. I love her artwork, so I'm quick to pick up her decks, but they don't always resonate to make me want to use them again and again and again. So this one I just haven't been picking up. I don't know if it'll stay that way because like I'm looking at it now and I'm feeling kind of drawn to it. So maybe that'll change this year. But yeah, so if I had to pick one that was the bat flying over my head, it would be this little bird deck here. This is the Raven Dream Tarot from NJ Cullinane. Look at all the flying going on this back. I didn't see a bat though. I was like, is there a bat on this back? That would be cool. But no, I don't think there is. The next one is the Crystal Ball, the deck that always reveals something from the mist. This is the influence of the Angels Tarot by Jody Boginski Barbiesi. Deck is um, very accurate for me, and it is very intuitive. And I use it as an ancestral deck to do ancestral readings, so that's why I feel like the messages are coming from the mist. You know, um, they're coming from the beyond the veil, if you will. So yeah, that's the reason I picked this one. This is a beautiful deck. Well done. The guidebook explains all of the choices. The production on it is wonderful. I have the linen edition of it, which is the second edition. The first edition had a gloss. Yeah, this deck feels very psychic. It feels like when I'm reading with it, I'm accessing like a psychic energy within myself. Like it speaks through my third eye. So because of that, it definitely feels like a crystal ball style deck. And I use this deck because of that. I use this deck only for myself and only to do ancestral readings. So messages from beyond the veil, if you will, right? So that's definitely feels like it should fit the bill for a crystal ball style deck. And that again is the influence of the Angels Tarot. I have the linen edition. There's also, this is the second edition that you can buy right now. There's an out of print glossy edition that you may still be able to get at resellers because this one didn't come out too long ago, and these are the backs. Next up is the Spider's Web, a deck that ensnares you in the tales it spins. I'm going to use this one, The Murder of Crows. This is very new in my collection. I just received this deck a couple of weeks ago, but the couple of readings that I have done with it have felt very much like they were drawing me into their story. And I think it's because with this deck, I've been trying to read the guidebook as I go along, like as I'm using the deck. Every time I pull a card, I'm trying to read the guidebook. And so I'm getting into the story of the deck. And I do feel quite ensnared. I feel drawn in and intrigued by it all. So the artist is a horror artist. So the deck feels intense and scary, as it's supposed to, because it's horror. But when I look at it card by card, sometimes I feel a little nervous at the cards. But when I'm using it in like actual practice, I feel drawn into the story rather than the the artwork. I feel drawn into the story and the world. That's the reaction that I'm getting from it. So I think it fits perfectly into this spider's web, a deck that ensnares me in the tail. Let me cover that up. In the tail that it spins. And again, this is the Murder of Crows from Los Caraballo. These are the backs. These backs are actually brambles and things that you find as you walk through this world, right? Like this dreamscape where the land is trying to kind of suck you in. I'm trying to find one of the cards where you can kind of see that. You can see it a little bit in the bottom of these two cards here, where the land is like rough. The terrain is almost trying to like ensnare you, right? Almost like a spider's web. So anyway, that is the Murder of Crows. Okay, number 6, the Potion, a deck that's not super appetizing, but you know it works. So I've got 2 for this, and I know 2, come on, we already have 15 prompts, but I have 2. I couldn't decide, and we're just going to do 2. Afton said I could do what I want, so I'm going to do what I want. So this is the Black Ritual Tarot. It's a black and white deck, black and white RWS clone. Not anything super exciting here, right? But it is a fantastic reader because it's an RWS clone, because it's black and white, because it's so bold. It speaks very clearly, and I like it. And I know when I pick it up, I'll be able to use it easily. And on top of that, the cardstock is really easy for me to shuffle. The cards are nice and big, so I can see everything very, very well. The borders make sure that if I'm doing a larger spread, all the cards are separated very nicely and evenly. I think that this is just like for if you're just looking for a deck, this is going to get the job done. Even if you have a finger injury like I did, my finger's still not quite right, and you can barely shuffle anything. You'll be able to shuffle this one. You know what I mean? If you can't think straight and reading all those decks that have all the symbolism and or whatever is just not working for you, you can read this one because this is RWS clone. If your brain is hurting and you don't want to look at all those colors, boom, here you go, no color. So I feel like this is just that is exactly what I would call the potion. That it's not super appetizing. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it works. It works, and it works well. It does everything I needed to do in a tarot deck. And these are the backs. Again, this is the Black Ritual Tarot. And this is the Alice the Wonderland Oracle Mini. Also, a deck that I would say is not super appetizing for me. And the reason for this one is because I don't like Jasmine Beckett Griffith's artwork. I'm not a fan. I know that I am in the minority, but that is just the case. And I don't know that I will ever like this artwork. I am not a fan of dolls in general. I don't like scary looking dolls, especially like bloody, dead looking dolls like some of these look. So, yeah, not a fan, but I do love this deck. I'm able to not overlook, but to work with it anyway, even though I'm not a fan of the artwork. And it's just not the only deck in my collection like this, okay? I have plenty of decks where the artwork is not my favorite, but I like the deck, so I use it anyway, right? But this one in particular, I pulled out because I feel like this deck is really, really works. It's a great deck. It has great messages, especially the larger one with that guidebook. Um, and it just really it hits. It hits. So even though I don't like the artwork, I still get a whole lot out of using this deck every time I use it, every single time. So I would definitely call this a potion, a potion deck. It's not super appetizing, but there it is. It works. It does what I needed to do, and it does it well. So that is again the Alice the Wonderland. This is the pocket one with the messages on the back. Then next up, we have the Cauldron, a deck that makes you feel like you're brewing up something witchy. I'm going to go with the Hedge Witch Tarot for this one by Tudor Beth. This is new in my collection. This is from Llewellyn. Let me zoom in because the cards are very, very detailed. So this one feels extremely witchy to me. I have a couple of decks with witch in the title that I don't feel like I need to like know the witchy components of. And I'm not witchy. I'm not a witch. So I don't know a lot of this stuff. And so a lot of times if there's a deck that I have in my collection where it's heavy on the witchy stuff, it goes over my head, and without the book I'm completely lost. And this is definitely one where that's the case. I need the book to be able to keep up with all of the witchy elements of this. Normally a deck like that I wouldn't be so eager to use, because if I have to use the guidebook every time I pull the card to be able to understand what's going on or why things have been chosen, then I'm more likely to like not use the deck, right? But for this one, for some reason, I kind of like that I get to read in the guidebook all the witchy things, and I feel like I'm like it says, like I'm brewing up something witchy, like I'm getting into it, you know? And I think that this is so beautiful that I am willing to slow down when I'm in the mood, to slow down and take some time to read the book for every choice, for every card. That's when I pull this out. I don't pull it out on days when I need to do a quick reading. I pull it out on the days when I know I can get into the book and read it. So, and because this deck is so new to me and I am in the guidebook with almost every card trying to see what's going on, this one's kind of cool. There's this section here that's the veil, and it's like something witchy to do, like either a potion or a ritual, or I don't know what all is in here, but sometimes I do it. If it says like write on a paper and tear it up or something, sometimes I do it. And so there I am brewing up something witchy. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is the one. This is the one I think fits the bill. So again, this is the Hedge Witch Tarot. And because the cards cover all the seasons, I want to use it all the time, right? Like I'm like, it's fall now. There's lots of fall looking cards in here. But then Christmas will be coming and we have these Christmassy looking cards. So we definitely got to keep it out for the winter. But then look at all the green. It needs to be out for the summer and spring as well. I don't know. It goes in the whole collection. This is one that's probably going to stay out all the time. So again, this is the Hedge Witch Tarot. And these are the stunning backs. Okay, so now we're on number 8, the Jack-o'-lantern, a deck that makes you want to divine by candlelight. Now, this one was a little bit tough for me, only because I've never done that. I don't divine by candlelight. I never have. I barely use candles. I have allergies, so I don't burn things and stuff like that. So I think that I was like, what are the qualifications for one? I don't know. Like, but I think I use my best judgment, and I'm thinking we want something that's like a little bit glittery in the light. And I do sometimes read in low light. So I went with this one, the Baroque Tarot. Now, if I've gotten this wrong, don't come for me, okay? Look, I tried. I tried my best. So this is this is the Baroque Tarot, the deluxe edition. It's very shiny. It has lots of gilding on the front. It has gilding on the back, and it shines in the light. So if I'm reading in under like incandescent lights, it glitters or it sparkles a little bit. All of the borders, the titles, and then also these deep blacks feel even darker and deeper when I'm reading under incandescent light. So I'm thinking that it would be the same for candlelight. So I went with this one. What do you guys think? I don't know. I've been using this deck quite a bit lately because it's so easy to shuffle and so easy to read. It feels just like very intuitive, and it's beautiful. And like I said, I can use it even at night because of the blacks. The colors pop even in dim lighting. The gold makes my eyes dance across the table. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful and lovely to read with, easy to use, feels nice in my hands. So this is like an everyday kind of workhorse style deck for sure. And again, this is the Baroque Tarot, my choice for the Jack-o'-lantern, a deck that makes me want to divine by candlelight, or in my case, by low lighting. The next one is the Black Cat, the deck that lurks around the edges of your collection. I'm going with the true Black Tarot. It definitely lurks around the edges of my collection. I don't use it much I don't think about it much. But when I do think about it and I get it out, I remember how much I love it. And then I'm like using it. But because of the size of the box, this is just a little bit bigger than the other boxes, right? So it doesn't quite fit with the other decks. So it gets stored in a corner, technically around the edges of my collection, and it gets forgotten. But I do have this deck and I do love this deck. I should probably cover that up. But and yeah, it's here. It's here. So again, this is the true black tarot lurking around the edges of my collection like a black cat. I feel like even the images feel like they're lurking there. And you know, the titles only show up in certain light, so those are lurking as well. And you've got those spot gloss elements that lurk, and you can only see them in certain lighting on the majors. This is a lurker for sure. Like you can't even see the 4 on this until I tilt it towards the light, you know? So yeah, this is a lurker. This deck is a lurker. And the next one is the moon, the deck that casts shadows in its wake. I'm going with the Aquarius Tarot, and only because this deck makes me sad. Every time I use it, it makes me sad. I don't know what it is. Let's zoom in because it's hard to see the titles on this one. I don't know if it's the tone of the deck. Um, maybe it's just the keywords on it. I don't know what it is, but every time I use this deck, the reading feels sad. And then that makes me kind of feel like I don't want to use it. I don't want to pick it up because I don't want to be sad. Who wants to be sad every time you pick something up? It's like I don't even feel sad. I'm doing a reading and then suddenly I'm sad, you know? And it just every time I use it, it happens. And I say, "Oh, I'm being crazy. Let me try it again." It's quite beautiful, the deck, as you can see. The images are beautiful. It's got keywords upright and reversed, but something about it just feels sad every time I use it. And this is a personal thing, of course, but it definitely casts shadows in its wake. It darkens the room for me. It darkens the mood. And I don't want that. So I don't end up using this one so much. I keep it because it's really beautiful. And I have um, 2 Oracle decks from this creator that I try when I want to use a tarot with those decks to use this, but I don't always because, like I said, it makes me sad. So I will keep trying. Hopefully that I'll break the streak. And then, like, looks like a pretty happy card. This is the moon, intuition, mystery, secrets, but it's not card by card. It's not the cards. It's not the imagery. It's not any one thing. You know, it's just the luck of the draw, I guess. You know, with me in this in this deck. So that is the Aquarius Tarot. This is the deck that for me casts shadows in its wake. It even has little cute happy dolphins on the back. I don't know. I don't know what's up with this one. The next one is the broomstick, a deck that whisks you away to another place. And I'm choosing the Venetian Tarot. Takes me right to Venice. All of the images, you know, you get the history of Venice. You get the imagery that takes you. That's all, you know, based on the city. And I feel like I'm right there. I feel like I'm right there when I use this one. This deck is drawn by Eugene Vinitsky over at Tarot. Is it Taromania? Yes, at Taromania. And I want to say every deck I have from them, from that team, between the imagery and the guidebook, they take a theme and they just harness it, you know, and they bring it right to the deck, to the book, to the experience of using the deck. And when I am using them, I feel transported. So I would say every one of my decks from this creator is a broomstick deck. This is just the one that I happen to be using right now. And again, this is the Venetian Tarot by Eugene Vinitsky and the people over at Tarot Mania. These are the backs. Takes me right on to Venice. The next one is Spellbook, a deck with the most enchanting guidebook. I'm going to go with Verdance Tarot by Stephanie Pullman Law. I like this guidebook. I think I like this guidebook more than I like these cards. Let me show you the cards a little bit real quick. So these cards are difficult for me to see. My eyesight is not the best. They're very light and detailed. I have to be like right today, it's dim outside. I have overhead lighting on. I can barely see these. If it's very, very bright, and I have really good lighting on a good day, I can see them. But generally, these are difficult for me to see. So it's hard for me to work with these. But in this book, I can see everything very well. Look at that. So I'm enchanted. I find myself studying this book more than I do the cards. Like I'll pull a card and then I'll be in the guidebook, like looking at it, trying to see what all I can find in the picture. And on top of that, I really like the write-ups. Um, this story that she puts with every card is enchanting. It really is. So let's take a look at the Seven of Swords here. I love this big imagery. You can see that the swords are cracked through the eggs. These leaves that you see fluttering around, a lot of the cards appear here again. Um, I can see all of the detail in the tree trunks. I can see swords back here. I can see all kind of stuff in this picture that I cannot see on the card. Then we've got, you've got this part here about the Seven of Swords, but then down here, a story about the cuckoo bird, which is enchanting. It says the cuckoo is a clever bird. She sits atop a sword and laughs. Mother Warbler has left her nest briefly to seek food. In absence, Cuckoo has swooped in and swiftly laid an egg of her own in the nest. In the days that follow, the eggs hatch, and one of these is not like the others. What strangeness is this? Wonders Warbler. But she does not question beyond that why this one chick is odd, for it is healthy and strong and so hungry. The adopted mother does not realize what has happened, and she spends her energy feeding the voracious young impersonator to the detriment of the rest of her brood. And off Cuckoo flies, satisfied and merry, to continue on her way to find other unattended nests in which to repeat her ploy. For she tells herself that she only does what nature has demanded of her. She has found a solution to accomplish that which she lacks in herself to provide. And is that not the best for everyone? It's enchanting, right? It's cute. I like it. So I definitely choose this one for the deck with the enchanting guidebook. Next up, we have the vampire, a deck that transformed your very being. I'm going to choose the biblical tarot for this. And it didn't transform my being, but it transformed my practice, my tarot practice using the biblical tarot. Before I worked with the biblical tarot, and it wasn't this one, it was the second edition, which is the one with the white borders, but this is the one I have out right now. So we're going to look at it. They're the same deck, they're just different colors. So, um, before using this deck, working with it, working with the guidebook, doing the deep dive that I did with a friend, and really like using the deck and working with it, I never even considered this deck. And I would say also the Mary Magdalene Oracle from Hay House kind of brought me around to using tarot to contemplate religious thought, just contemplate things about my religion. My religion is Christianity. I'm a Christian. So in order to, I never mix them, I never even contemplated mixing them. Even though I had the Mary Magdalene Oracle, or not the Mary Magdalene Oracle, the Mother Mary Oracle from Alana Fairchild, and I still have that deck, it still never occurred to me to use tarot or oracle or cards in general to contemplate or reflect on religious thought and my religious practice until I got this deck. And the Mary Magdalene Oracle. I got them around the same time, so I'm not sure which one is the one that kicked it off, but I'm sure that I didn't really, I mean, I had angel decks and stuff like that, but I wasn't using them. I was using them just to do readings, to do like everyday pulls, everyday energy readings, stuff like that, which is something that I do regularly anyway. I wasn't using them to then reflect on or contemplate my actual what I think about divinity and religion and God and Jesus and the angels. And even though I naturally bring that in when I'm reading for myself, it wasn't something that was like at the front of my mind when I was doing my readings until I started using this deck. Even though it didn't transform my being, it definitely transformed the way that I read. And so this is the Biblical Tarot by Krasimir Collin. And these are the backs. And like I said, there are two editions of this, and this is the Shadows of the Soul edition that you're looking at here. Two more to go. The next one, The Haunted House, a deck that scares me with how accurate it is. And I wouldn't say that accurate decks, nothing accurate scares me. I want my decks to be accurate, but this deck is extremely accurate. So this is the Intuitive Kev's Kipperish Oracle deck. It's 101 cards, but I took out some. I took out all the cards I didn't feel like I needed, basically, because Kipper deck has like Rich Man, Rich Woman, Mature Man, Mature Woman, and then in here there's like Karmic Man, Karmic Woman, and then he also had like Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. I didn't feel like I needed all of that, so I took those two out. I took out this Intuitive Kev card, and I took out all the like magical ones like Divination, Entity Attachment, Voodoo, Death Magic, and then I took out these astrology ones, Star Seed and North Node, South Node. So I still have like 90 something cards here, right? And yeah, they read like a gem. They are, if you like to read with fortune telling decks and you like this artwork at all, I would say, grab it, check it out. They're not super expensive. Right now, I think it's out of print. It's out of stock, but he brings them back periodically. I'll put the link to his Etsy shop down below, and you can just keep an eye, maybe like his shop and wait for it to come back, because they come back here and there. But this is great. It reads, when I tell you this thing is accurate, it will tell you exactly what you need to know. I was doing a reading for somebody the other day, and the cards were coming out like, I mean, spot on. I can't even explain to you. I don't remember exactly how the cards came out, but I remember pulling out the cards, and I had them all laid out, right, in the tableau. And then I hadn't finished the tableau. I still had like two more cards to pull. And I said out loud, I'm surprised I'm not seeing a card about his hospital stay here. And then the next card I pulled out was something like hospital stay or something. And I was like, there it is. Like, it was, I mean, I'm telling you, like, this thing is accurate. So if you like to read with fortune telling cards, Kipper cards, or Norman cards, or it's more, it reads like a Kipper because it's got a lot of people stuff in it, but yeah, you might want to check it out. And this is again the Intuitive Kev's Kipperish Oracle deck. Okay, last is the Tombstone, the deck that I would take with me to my grave. And I would say this original, my original version of the Superlunars. I also have the linen version. Do not bury me with that. Do not bury me with any of these decks. But if you're, give them away. Listen, I'm putting it out there right now. Give them away. Let somebody have them. Do what you got to do, but do not bury me with these decks. But if you're gonna bury me with one, this is the one that you can put. Just this one. Okay. This is the Superlunars Tarot. I absolutely love this deck. I've said before, so this is no surprise to anybody who's been watching my channel. It is my favorite tarot deck. It is the most intuitive one that I own. It is the one that speaks directly to my soul. And I feel like I can do any kind of reading with it. It is my most trusted deck. I will do shadow work decks. I do shadow work readings. If there's something I'm digging into that feels really, I feel very vulnerable when I'm doing the reading, this is the only deck that I trust to do that type of reading with. I do not use this deck for anyone else. I only use it for myself. I did buy the linen edition to read for other people, but it did not work out. So now that one is just kind of being held. It's on hold until I can't use this one anymore because my cards are starting to split and stuff like that. So and this deck is out of print. So when I can't use this one anymore, I have my linen edition ready to go. But I will keep this one around even with the split cards that can't shuffle anymore or whatever, so that if someone feels the need to bury me with the tarot, that they can bury me with this one. Okay, so make sure you give the rest away, donate and give them away, or sell them if you want. I don't care. Don't bury me with them. But this one, since it's pretty much, by the time hopefully, I'll live a lot longer, and by the time I die, this will be a tattered mess. So you can definitely put it in in the grave with me. So that is the Super Lunaris Tarot. These are the backs. And that is the last one. So yes, this was perfect for the season. Thank you so much to Afton with a Z for creating it and also for tagging me in it. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. If you have answers to these questions and you don't have a YouTube channel, feel free to answer any of them down below. And until I see you guys next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye bye.